Hi friends, so today we are going to be going over the some of my process for the cover design for my upcoming book Never Say Goodbye, which I have pulled up right here. This was super requested by all of you guys, so I'm like, okay, we have to do this. So today I'm going to be working in Affinity Photo. I did use Affinity Designer a little bit as well, I think, towards the end, but today we're just going to be talking about Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo is basically Photoshop. It's not Photoshop, but it pretty much is, and I would say it's even better than Photoshop, and it's definitely way cheaper and way easier to use. So I highly recommend this if you are wanting to get started into photo editing and design work. Definitely recommend Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. So let's get started. This isn't going to be an in-depth tutorial by any means because I do not have that in me right now. But I'm just going to be showing you some of my process for what I did. So this is the final cover that I have right here. Over here I have the original photo I used. So you can tell that this photo is much different than our final thing. So let's get started. For starters, I'm going to start with some of the basis. So this couple is obviously different than the couple used over here. I didn't like this couple as much, it just didn't fit the story as well. So I'm going to start by getting rid of them. I'm going to use my in-painting brush tool. Make that way bigger. This is my favorite tool ever because it magically erases things. So, super handy. Give this a sec to do its job. Does not usually take this long, for the record. Alright, so as you can see, this couple is now gone. There's a little bit of a blur where they were, but for the most part, it actually looks really good. So, oops, that was not what I wanted. Okay, so I just Control Z to undo that. So, here we have the picture without the couple. Now, I'm going to copy over some of the settings in the final cover. Excuse me. I'm not going to go into how I edited the actual photo itself. I'm just going to copy these settings. That's for a different day. I did a brightness and contrast adjustment and a legacy selective color adjustment to get the colors really how I wanted them. So I'm just going to paste those over on top. As you can see, our picture looks much different now, much brighter. It pops. The colors are just that much more gorgeous. So that's what I did. And then I'm also going to copy over our couple while I'm here because I do not have time to go over our couple, the silhouette. I'm just going to copy over this whole group. I did do some editing on the coloring of them as well. As you can see, this got put in the bottom, the top corner. That's not where they go. Just going to move those down. Also, you may be noticing that they came with their own footer area there in the right here. This I ended up to get them to really blend with the image. So see, their feet are behind the thing in the original. Their feet would look on top of the thing, which is not intentional, obviously not a good look. So what I did to fix that, let me zoom out, is I selected this layer, this bottom rocky layer, whatever they're standing on. I selected that using my selection brush, like so. As you can see, this is doing a pretty rough job right now, but we can go and fix that. Wow, why did it do that, actually? It did a really bad job. Okay. Hang on. Okay. So, here I'm just selecting it. Go and subtract what I don't want. I don't want to select a couple, obviously. Just trying to get the bottom layer right now. Okay. Get my brush bigger. Ease of use, and there we go. So that's that. I'm just going to refine this using the refine button up here, and it's kind of going to even everything out. Make sure I'm selecting what I want to select. As you can see, that is pretty much everything. This is a bit rough, so I'm just going to hover my mouse over that. And there you go. So then I'm going to output this as a new layer that I can now do what I want with. And this got rid of everything else. It unselected all the other layers. So I'm just going to go back and reselect those. And there you go. So obviously that's not how it looks because I have an extra layer in here. But for the sake of demonstration, that's what I did. So in my silhouette, I have my couple right here, which I edited from a different photo. It was actually a photo that was very brightly lit from a yellow tinged sunset, so it was somewhat difficult to try to get the lighting to not look yellow in the couple. And then I also have my footer, and then this brightness and contrast adjustment I use to just kind of darken things up and give them a little bit more contrast. So there you go, that's the silhouette. Zoom back out. So there you go, that's the basis of the back of the cover. Hang on. Here's the original again for reference. One other thing I did before adding text was I moved the moon. I did not like where the moon was sitting. I had very much the idea in my head of where I wanted my text to lay and how I wanted the layout to be. And the moon was kind of getting in the way, and I really wanted to highlight that moon, not hide it. So I ended up cutting that out and moving it over. As you can see, it's kind of in the middle of the photo, whereas over here it's to the side more and down. So I'm going to select our moon. Hopefully I'm doing a decent job explaining this to you guys. I'm trying to keep this short because I don't want to have a half-hour video here. It's just a bit excessive. Feel free to ask any questions you'd like, any clarifications. Like I said, this is not a tutorial, but if I can help explain something better, I would be happy to do so. So there is my moon. Again, I'm going to press the refine button. Make sure I'm really getting what I want. As you can see, this side of the moon is a little over. So again, we're going to put this into a new layer. And again, everything disappears, so just recheck all these layers. And there we go. So now my moon is its own pixel layer that I can move wherever I want. Because I copied it into a new layer, the original moon's still there, so I'm going to get rid of that real quick. But again, using my in-painting brush tool, which is magic. It didn't take so long. I think because I'm running my screen recording software, it's taking longer. I didn't make sure you highlight the correct layer. I didn't highlight the background layer over here. So it didn't actually get rid of it. Alright, so now it's officially gone. Again, you could never even tell it was right there. And now I can move this moon wherever I want to move it. Alright, so for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go into the text either. I spent a very long time figuring out what I wanted the fonts to be, what I wanted the layout to be. I kind of had the layout in my mind, as I said before. And this font is the same font I used for the author text on Live Without You, my first book, so I really loved that font and wanted to reuse that. Kind of make them tie in without being too matchy-matchy. And same with the font in the title. I wanted it just to be this really pretty sweeping brusher font, but again, I didn't want it to match Live Without You, and I did consider using the font I used for Live Without You, which is Selima, but I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up going with Rolette Quaco, or however you want to pronounce that font. Yeah, and I ended up falling in love with it. Still in love with this font, and I've used it for a lot of different things already, so I'm going to have fun with that. But for now, let's just copy over our text group. I have every single piece of text all in its own group to make it easier on me, because again, we don't have time for that right now. I'm just going to paste that. Again, it's much smaller, so we're just going to stretch that to fit what we want. And then over here, I'm going to center it to our spread. So center middle, center horizontally. Alright, so that's a bit, it's not quite wide enough. It's a bit too tall. Alright, there you go. One of the things I really wanted to incorporate into this cover, I saw somewhere else, I don't remember where, it was probably like a Canva template, but I really, really loved how the text for Goodbye stretches across the whole cover, and kind of even doesn't show on the side there. Excuse me again. And I really loved that look and wanted to incorporate that, so that was definitely something I was going to do. Now our moon is in the wrong place, so we're just going to quick move that where I wanted. I spent a long time adjusting this moon and deciding where exactly I wanted it. I think I also made the moon bigger because I really wanted to feature that moon. I'm like, this picture is so gorgeous, I totally want to pull out all of the features in it and just make it gorgeous. I love the shooting star behind that as well. So there you go. I think that's about where the moon was. Yep. So I think that's pretty much everything. Again, I could spend more time refining this. This doesn't look exactly like it, just because for the sake of time, I was rushing this. But that was basically what I did in this photo. Again, I spent a lot of time working on the adjustments for the photo itself, the brightness and contrast. I went through several different filters and settings, trying to decide what I loved best. The original was actually way too dark, and I realized that afterwards. I'm like, this looks gorgeous, but it's way too dark, and it's not going to look pretty on phone screens, and it's not going to look pretty when it prints. So I ended up brightening it up, and I really love now how the night sky really pops and the stars come out and everything. So I really love what I settled on. I spent about 8 months doing this, trying to decide what I loved best. I went through several different revisions of the cover. I actually had some other people design some covers for me, just gave them the concept and said, hey, run with it, show me what you got, just to kind of give myself some inspiration. But in the end, I came back to this original idea with this photo. I'm so happy I changed the couple. I really felt like that made it fit my story so much better. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything, you guys. Yeah, so in this short, how long is this video? 12-minute video. It does not show everything I went through because, again, I went through 8 months of revisions, but hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of an idea. Again, I'm in Affinity Photo. I'm not paid to say this, but it is seriously the bomb, the best software I have ever used. I will probably never use Photoshop just because this is so amazing. So, highly recommend getting Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer if you'd like to get into this type of stuff. It is definitely makes you far more professional than you actually are, if that makes sense. So, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. Go check out my book on Goodreads. It will be releasing in the spring of 2020. I hope that is the goal. Right now, I'm currently editing it, so already have my story editor and my proofreader lined up, so I'm super excited about that. So yeah, go check it out. Share some love on Goodreads or on Bookstagram. And I will catch you guys later.